What up, guys? It's your boys from GNG, and we are here today to talk about something actually gaming related, but a little more on the serious side of what's going on in today's world of gaming. Whoa, so I don't know how you guys are gonna take this, but I am gonna warn you that it probably can get a little offensive. Um, if you feel like you don't want to go through this, just click away. That's fine. Watch one of our other videos. But we will be talking about um, the allegations that's been happening in the FGC community and in the Smash community. And my boy Rick the Bull will be talking about other things that's happening in other communities, such as Dr. Disrespect. So, again, if you're not feeling for it, please click away. If you are, stay here. Again, these are your boys from GNG. And here we go.
All right.
All right, man. So, you want to start?
Yeah.
All right. Go
I
ahead.
don't even know how. I don't even know how I'm gonna start this. Jesus. All right. So, as you know, Fred, for the last couple of months, we've been dealing with this. As everyone knows, we've been dealing with this COVID-19. A lot of people are staying home, and a lot of things that have changed, especially in the gaming community as a whole. So, just a lot of adapting to different environments now. A lot of press conferences, a lot of tournaments that would be taking place at this time in a normal space is not, right? So there's a lot of people at home, and there's been a lot of things that have been going on in the gaming community. You think that it's just all games, but it's not just all games, because we deal with our own, little seedy underworld kind of stuff. We deal with our stuff too, because we're not just only gaming, we also talk about the gossip. So like one of the big things that has been like floating around. So for the past 2 weeks, if you don't know who he is, there's this streamer, very, very popular streamer by the name of Dr. Disrespect. Now, so just to give a little bit of background, Twitch has started to come down heavily on its conduct policy on streamers. Just the code of conduct, just making sure that everybody's adhering to their rules, to produce a healthy, safe community within the Twitch community.
Channels and stuff.
Right. So there's a big prominent streamer by the name of Dr. Disrespect. He's known for his, if you don't know who he is, he's known for his aggressive kind of commentary.
It's in the name.
Right. He has a very big following. He has about a 1.4 million subs on YouTube and 1.3 million followers on Twitter. So he's a big name. He signed a multi-deal contract with Twitch. He decided to stay with Twitch after, or during the time that Ninja and Shroud decided to leave and go and sign with Mixer before Mixer ended up,
on Facebook,
right?
It's random, yeah.
Right. So what's curious about this is about 2 weeks ago, and to be exact, June 26th, Dr. Disrespect has disappeared from Twitch completely. Like, you don't know what happened to him. You don't know why his channel's been banned. So everybody's been speculating. Everybody's been talking about what were the reasons, or what could be one of the reasons that he left, right? So he sends out this cryptic kind of tweet, and he said that Twitch has not notified him on any specific reason behind the decision. He thanks his community for their support, and that's it. That's all we hear. So then Twitch decides to respond to Dr. Disrespect, but as a whole, and basically they stated that as in our process, we take appropriate action when we have evidence that a streamer has acted in violation of our community guidelines or terms of service. These apply to all streamers regardless of status or prominence in the community. Right, so they gave their big legal spiel that we're not going to talk about it, but we do have evidence that something was violated with Dr. Disrespect and his channel, or with himself. So, and I've been looking around just trying to see, just kind of piece this all together. And ESPN, they investigated it actually,
Mm,
and they looked into it, and they reported that there are no open warrants
yeah.
in Los Angeles or San Diego. In those counties, there's nothing there. So we're kind of sitting in this limbo, and then you know what happens when you don't have that information. People just
Yeah.
start talking completely. They're just like, "Well, what happened?" So there was a lot of theories that it was a breach of contract. So they initially thought, or people have initially thought that uh, Dr. Disrespect and Shroud and Ninja decided to team up after the Mixers uh, combining or joining with Facebook, and they were to make their own streaming platform. So therefore,
Mm,
he broke his contract with Twitch. But then that ended up being, null and void because that never
I
materialized into
never really.
anything.
Yeah.
Right. So another big theory is that he may have been involved in some sort of sexual harassment or misconduct,
Yeah.
which is what's been going around in a lot of the gaming community for some time right now.
Sometime. And I don't know if that's where that ends, but I can tell you that that's where I begin. So basically, what's been going on was a whole plethora of sexual accusations. But before I get into that, there's this huge tournament that's usually taking place in summer. It's called Evo. One of the biggest tournaments. Everybody knows about it. If you play video games, there's a video that you see, and it's always like a Ken versus a Chun-Li. It was a Justin Wong versus Diego,
Right.
and the parry. Everybody sees it, even if they don't play Street Fighter, they don't know Street Fighter. But those were Evo, like that's Evo. Those are Evo moments, places where you get your top players just going at it. Um, of course, like you started because of the COVID-19 thing. Obviously, they had to cancel it because nobody's allowed to go inside of areas with groups. This whole pandemic thing, they want to just make sure everybody is not spreading the virus anymore, yada yada yada. So it was we kind of figured that out. It was like, all right, fine, whatever. Evo surprised everybody. They made an announcement. They said, yo, check this out, we're going to do Evo online. And they took out some games because of the trusted online services. Like Smash was taken out because the online was just terrible, and there was a few other games, but they threw in games that have great online, like Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat. I think Street Fighter still was there, of course, because of Capcom, and so forth and so forth. And they said the tournament would take place on. It was going to start August 2nd, and it was going to go across weekends. All of a sudden, I wake up one morning, right? Evo is canceled completely. No idea why. All I saw was this big Evo blue sign, canceled, right? And I do some research. I'm seeing what's going on, which wasn't really much research. I just went on Twitter, and it was all over the place. There was sexual misconduct allegations against the co-founder of Evo, Mr. Wizard. Again, these are all accusations. I don't know how much of it actually happened, but after this happened, after Evo announced this, waves, I'm talking about waves and waves and waves of sexual accusations started coming out from top players across Street Fighter all the way to Smash players. Just every game that was being played inside of FGC and the Smash community, there were people there that was talking about sexual allegations and just things that was happening. You know what I mean? From pedophilia all the way. I'm talking about, if you scroll through Twitter, you'll just see it all. You'll see it all. And because of this, everybody just started pulling out. NetherRealms was like, yo, we're not gonna support this. Nintendo said, yo, we are gone. Actually, just a few hours ago, maybe, yeah, about 3 hours ago, Kotaku put up that there was over 50 sexual misconduct allegations in the Smash community alone.
Wow.
Alone. So Nintendo condemned it. They were like, yo, listen, we condemn alleged abuse by well-known competitive gamers as absolute impermissible. In the space of a week, dozens of allegations of inappropriate behavior have been made against competitors in Nintendo Super Smash Bros. Fighting game series. This is straight from BBC News. So, this is what Nintendo is saying. Capcom, they were saying the same thing. We do not, we're not, we won't support this kind of thing. So they pulled out. NetherRealms pulled out. Nintendo, everybody basically pulled out. And then one thing that really hit me is that one of my favorite players, Sonic Fox, he pulled out. He said, "I am no longer participating in Evo." That's the dude that everybody wants to see in the top. Dragon Balls, he wins Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball Z. He wins it all, bro. Like he's just nice in it. So he pulled out also. So Evo puts out on July 2nd, Evo put out this. Over the past 24 hours, in response to serious allegations recently made public on Twitter, we have made the first of a series of important decisions regarding the future of our company. Effective immediately, Joey Queller, which is Mr. Wizard, will no longer be involved with Evo in any capacity. We are currently working towards his complete separation from the company and have relieved him of all of his responsibilities. Going forward, Tony Cannon will act as CEO in his position. He will take leadership role in prioritizing greater accountability across Evo, both internally and at our events. Progress doesn't happen overnight or without the bravery of those who speak up against misconduct and injustice. We are shocked and saddened by these events, but we are listening and committing to making every change that will be necessary in making Evo a better model for the stronger, safer culture we all seek. As a result, we will be canceling Evo Online and will work to issue refunds for all players who choose to purchase a badge. We will donate the equivalent of the proceeds as promised to Project Hope. So that's what Evo said. Now, that's the big news, and that's the news that's in front of our face. And going back to what you're saying about Dr. Disrespect is there's a lot of allegations going around. I'm not that person who accuses anybody before, I don't believe in guilty until proven innocent. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you have to have some type of evidence before you start saying, "Yep, he did it." "Yep, he did it. Yep, he did it," or "Yep, she did it," or whoever. But the stories that are coming out are very reliable. Like the stories are there. There's people on suicide watch. You know what I mean? There's people who are going into deep depression, and there are people who don't know how to handle this because they don't have anybody to talk to.
Right.
And it sucks because being part of the FGC and the Smash community, even though I'm not a top player, I mingled with a lot of players like, "Yo, what's up? How you doing?" Yada yada yada. And these are the same people who are now in a position where they probably won't even want to return, to the fighting game community or anything, or they're just scared or they're fearful of something like that, So that's what's going on in that community, and I it's hard, man. It's hard to talk about because a lot of them. Look, man. All right, so a lot of players are most of them are teenagers. You know what I mean? They're trying to get into the they're trying to get into that whole I want to become champion. And the champions are older. A champion players are like 20, 25 plus.
Right,
These guys been playing for a long time, so of course they're gonna be up there. How do you fix that? Do you have tournaments by age brackets now? Do you have how do you you know what I'm saying? How do you fix something like that?
Yeah, that's a very important question, because it's like, how does this affect the fighting game community, and how do the actions of a few affect everyone as a whole, and how do you really come back from that? And I just think that and there's been calls to self-policing within the gaming community,
Yes.
just like if you see something that seems a little off, or if you see something or you hear something, or that now people have not to look the other way. And I think that's what it's been for so long, is that people just kind of look the other way. They have an inclination of something that may be going on, or something that looks wrong, and they just take it for what it is. Now, like I'm saying, like, sometimes, it's very hard to judge, because everybody's, perception of things is very different, and it becomes very dangerous because, for example, Dr. Disrespect, let's say he didn't do anything, or let's say somebody said something and he honestly didn't do anything. Till this day, till right now, we don't know if he did anything. We don't even know what the content,
what it is.
What it is. But for the mere fact that the reason why I brought him up was because he's such a prominent figure in the Twitch streaming community. And if somebody made an allegation and they took his whole channel, like, he's losing millions now.
Especially if it's a false allegation.
Exactly. If it's a false accusation, and if because these things do happen. Now, I know there's a lot of the people that have been getting kind of a lot of slack for saying things like that. Like, if innocent until proven guilty, and that's how it is. That's how this country is based on. So like I'm saying, I don't know whether it happened or it didn't happen. I'm not here to judge that, because I have no knowledge of it. But you just start seeing the effects of it, because it even started with there's another streamer by the name of Alinity, and they started attacking her because they're saying that she was the reason why Dr. Disrespect was banned. That she even went and she streamed with a doctor on Twitch, and she broke down and she said that she wanted to almost kill herself. So it's just like, these big names, these people that are on Twitch and they stream for a community of people. And on July 2nd, Byron Reckful Bernstein, he was a top WoW player. He committed suicide, so he was dealing with some stuff. So a lot of things come into, like, with all these things that are just and I think we need that as in the gaming community. We need that. I think we need a call to, if there's some kind of allegations, or if you're dealing with like mental health issues, or if you're dealing with like suicidal ideations and thoughts and stuff, that you don't have to resort to these extreme measures, because as a community, I think right now is the time that unfortunately, these people who have been victimized and people who deal with suicidal ideations, and you have people who are trying, it's a lot that's going on in this community. Like, a lot of people take it for granted. Gaming is fun. Absolutely, it's fun in games. We enjoy it. You and I enjoy talking about it and speaking about it. But there's a lot of things when you go into maybe a Call of Duty lobby, and things that are said and things that are thrown around. As I've gotten older, I don't really engage with it anymore. But when I was younger, I used to be the toxic little asshole who was saying a lot of that hateful kind of, like, just cursing up. So it's really important to see that, as a community, as parents, as really start looking into the content that your son or daughter is consuming, and making sure that their mental health is, because when you go really into these lobbies and you go into the streaming world and you present yourself to people, people are going to say some fucked up, hurtful shit. And, helping them guide through that, it's important in the gaming community, and especially when it comes to things like, sexual misconduct with minors. Is like, if that's happening, there's no room for that. There has to be more of a solidarity within gamers to just kind of like understand, and like I said, these things happen. People have made false allegations, but people have also been victimized. So it's really finding that balance, and really finding that way to make that community, for yourself and myself and my kids, or my future kids and your future kids, make it safe for them, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna be taking games just like we did. So,
exactly. And it's again, it's all part of the community itself evolving. You know what I mean? Like, we see that this is a problem. And maybe I said this off the air before we pressed the record button, but maybe we needed COVID, because this has made people sit and really look at society without pushing their way through. Like people are now just sitting there and reflecting, on their lives and really noticing that, what, this sucks. You know what I'm saying? And people are finally airing it out. They're letting their emotions out and stuff like that. From gaming community all the way outside. So whatever's happening in the outside world, I believe it's just a lot of people reflecting, and they're finally saying, yo, enough is enough. And this is what it is. Again, with the allegations, there was I don't remember the story correctly, and again, I'm not going to say no names because it's not my story to tell. It was some 14-year-old kid talking about, I think, some 24-year-old chick, that it didn't, I don't know if it was forced. I don't think it was forced, but he didn't know what he was doing, but they ended up having sexual relations for a while, and then he finally spoke about it. You know what I mean? And again, no names. I will never say any names. We will never say names on this show because it's your story. It's your story to tell. But we are here, to have that bridge if you want to cross it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, like you're right. We at this time now, especially now, we all need to evolve. Figure out a way to settle these situations. Figure out a way to make it work. Figure out a way to make the parents and the families feel comfortable, letting their kids out,
right.
letting them play games with people, because the truth is, when a game, especially when it comes down to fighting games or racing games or something, and when you see E for everyone, and that game so happens to be on a tournament, that literally means everyone from every bracket, from every bracket to every gender, everybody's going to be playing this game. And if there's a tournament, everyone's going to mingle together. So what do we do? Do we separate that? Do we, like you said, do we police it in some way, shape, or form? How do we make this happen to make sure that kids and adults don't somehow, get into relation or I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how to ask that question. Like,
it's it's like, what do you say? Yeah, right. It's like, what do you say? Like, how do you, and you know what? It sucks because I love video games. And I grew up with video games, and now we're in a point where I never thought I would see video games the way they flourished. I don't want to sound like a boomer, which I do right now, but it's like tournaments for video games, multi-million tournaments, and kids are getting paid astronomically high. Like, $1 million for tournaments that I'm like, damn. I sound like a boomer when I say I wish back in my day they had this, because it's just, and that's how I feel. It's just the fact that we've evolved in our community and our gaming stuff, and I don't want the act of just playing video games to be demonized because of and I feel like and that's what ends up happening. Unfortunately, things that are associated with other things, they become demonized, and then and I don't want that to happen to gaming, because gaming right now is really, well, it's been starting for a couple of years, but now it's starting to
getting there.
It's really getting there, and it's just like, and I guess with all big and entertainment entities, because it's an entity right now.
Exactly.
It's gonna go through all this stuff, and I really hope that for the fighting game community, that you guys get back to providing, being in that tournament, being in that environment, because some people just, they like going there because they like the arena and the crowd and winning and just being in that kind of stuff, and that's what they go for, nothing else, and I just hope that our gaming community and our Twitch community and our Mixer not our Facebook gaming community, they get better at just policing, and not policing as much, but being kinder to each other, I guess. And just being aware and understanding of each other's plights and stuff. And I don't want to sound like, because I know people be like, oh, you just sound like you're soft. Well, it's not even about that, because it's just like, after a certain moment, like, we gotta coexist, and I know we all have our opinions and our feelings, and we like to express it, and the internet is the anonymity, and it's like the best thing, and you can say, but I just think we need to have a little bit more awareness when you're coming into this space. And like, I watched a lot of like the Chung Lee Ken, he blocked every
Yeah.
fucking that he blocked every like that those moments, it's
Yeah.
that's our Super Bowl, that's
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
stuff that
It's exactly.
we look
Yep.
forward to. So it's
Mhm.
like, we it's an unfortunate situation. And like I said, I really hope that, the victims gain closure. I hope those who are falsely accused don't face any kind of repercussions because of whatever. I just, like I said, I don't have evidence on anybody. So I'm not in a position
Yeah.
to speak of guilt. All I can speak is that this is the stuff that's happening. It's the stuff that's being reported, and we're reporting it to our community here at
Yep.
GNG, and that's what we're here for.
Yep, and honestly, I think we could close on that note. But before we do, listen up, everybody who's listening, and anybody who feels threatened or feels like they have been victimized or have been victimized. I will put links on this video, and links on the in the comment section below. For some help hotlines, some suicide hotlines, or if you want, just talk shit on the comments. Plus, trust me, we'll respond, man. We'll have a good fucking time.
Absolutely.
To talk shit
I
on the
got nothing
comments.
to do.
Yeah. Let us know how you feel, and we'll definitely respond. Again, this has been a touchy subject. Thank you for everybody who stood to listen to us. God bless you guys. And really, I hope everything works out at the end. And we're here if you need to talk. This is GNG signing out. Later,
Later,
guys.
guys.